for you guys. We kind of worked through, I thought was the hard part of the lesson yesterday, which was pretty much 1 through 15. Does everybody kind of agree with that? Right. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and jump down to the next part of the review. All right. So let's look at 18 for a quick second. It says, compare the ranges in the number of campsite reservations for the two parks. All right, so east. So I want everybody to write down east. And the east range would be what? What's the highest? What's the highest number for the east?
80.
80. What's the lowest?
32.
So 80 minus 32. Remember, you do 80 minus 30. Come on, we're practicing mental math. Minus 2.
48.
48. Thank you very much. So the east range would be 48. What about Blue Ridge range?
73 minus 38.
What is it?
73 minus 38.
And somebody want to help me out with 73 minus 38? Wow, you guys with calculators are having trouble.
35.
35, thank you very much. So the east range is obviously what? Greater, that's all you want. All right? Do you have any questions or concerns? Anybody? All right. So let's take a look at number 19. Let's see how we're doing. It says that fruit vendor sells 4 types of fruit every day: raspberries, apples, strawberries, and cherries. The vendor surveyed 30 customers. The types of fruit they preferred are indicated in the following table. If 20 kilograms of fruit are purchased, how many kilograms should be strawberries? Well, they said they prefer what? 12 out of what?
30.
12 out of 30. So we would say 12 out of 30. And then is 20 kilograms, is that the part or the whole?
It's the part.
It's x over 20 because 20 is actually all of the fruit. Everybody with me on that? Somebody had some trouble yesterday because they didn't quite understand that the 30 in here represents the number of customers, correct? And it didn't have anything to do with the weight. But does that really matter? Nope, it does not matter. All right, it does not matter. The 30 represents the total number of people. All right, is everybody okay with that? So now let's cross multiply. Somebody tell me what you got. So, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. So you would say 8 kilograms. 8 kilograms. All right, let's check out. I'm going to figure out how many problems there are. I forgot. Okay, so we got to start. Let's just do some of the evens now since I started with. Well, that was 19, right? So let's just continue with the odds. Let's just do the odds. And I'll do the evens with the other class. Max, you guys are interrupting me. All right, number 21. It says in a random survey of college students, 136 out of 400. So right off the bat, you should put what?
136 over 400.
Is equal to. Now, out of 20,000. So where does the 20,000 go? On the bottom, right? And x goes on the top. All right. And now when you cross multiply and divide, tell me.
I got 6,800.
X equals 6,800. Everybody okay with that?
I got 680.
Well, let's try it again on your calculator. You may have missed a 0, so double check me though. So do 136 times 20,000 divided by 400. Is that good now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just must have made a little mistake with the 0. All right, here we go. 23. It says a company decided to launch some new flavors. All right, they surveyed 250 random customers. The number of people who agreed that these flavors will be a success are shown below. Should the company launch the spicy flavor? All right, well, let's see. How many people liked it? How many people like spicy? 75 out of how many? Out of 250, does that make sense?
Oh.
So somebody tell me, what is 75 divided by 250? How much? 30%. So if you were running a business, if only 30% of the people liked your product, what do you think?
No.
I'd try something else. Don't you agree? Right? Let's try something else. It says predict the percentage. All right. So 30%, I shouldn't have put an X there. 30% is the correct answer. All right. Let's check out 25 now. We actually could probably do all of these. Determine the probability of each outcome. What's the probability to get a 7? 1/8. What's the probability that you get an odd? 4/8, which is 1/2. What's the probability that you get greater than 5? 3/8. What's the probability that you're less than 3?
2/8.
Which is the same as?
1/4.
And probability of 3, 6, or 8?
3/8.
Anybody have any issues? That's not hard. Right, is everybody happy with that? All right, let's continue on. All right. It says there are 3 red, 5 blue, 2 greens. Suppose one ribbon is selected at random. Find the probability of the outcome. Express probability as a fraction and as a percent. So let's do that. How many greens are there? Out of how many? 2 out of 10, which is 1/5, which is what percent?
20%.
20%. So what if you are not red?
7/10.
7/10. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
And 7/10 is the same as
70%.
70%. What's the probability that you're red or green?
1/2.
Everybody happy with that? 1/2, which is 50%. And what's the probability that you're yellow?
0.
0, right? Which is the same as 0%. So the probability is 0, the percent is 0%. What's the probability that you're not brown?
1.
1, which is 100%.
What if you don't put 1
I want you to know that. Do you agree? 1 means for sure. It has to happen.
Oh, 0.
0 means it can't happen. All right, let's try 35. It says a bag of sweets contains 25 gummy bears and 20 orange slices. Find the probability that you get a gummy bear. It would be what?
20, 25 over 45.
Yes, 25 out of 45 is the important part, right? Because the denominator represents the what? The total. So he is correct. It should be 25 out of 45, but then we're going to reduce that down to
Not 5/9.
5/9. Beautiful. Perfect. Everybody good? All right, let's just jump to 37. It says a coin is randomly selected from the jar. Find the probability that you do not get a quarter.
17 over 39.
Wow. If you're not a quarter, you are 17 out of 39. Beautiful. Come on, guys. I got one person up front giving me all the answers. What's up with everybody else, Julian? All right, do you know these answers?
Oh, I know them.
All right, so let's take a look at 39. It says Parker rolled a number cube 60 times. The number 3 appeared 8 times. What is the experimental probability of getting a 3?
860 over 60.
Come on, guys. 8 over 60. But of course, we reduce that to
13%.
2/15,
Ah.
which is probably,
13%.
all right.
They said.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
All right. So leave it as 2 over 15. Everybody good with that? Julian, you good back there? Yes, sir.
You always use that as not percent.
Well, it just said on the other one, change it to a percent.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I just read the directions carefully. All right, 41. Matthew has 4 dimes and 10 quarters. Find the probability of drawing a dime. 4 out of 14. Finally, someone else gets involved.
And then that would reduce to 2 7.
Thank you, of course. 2 out of 7.
And then that would be 29%.
29%. All right, thank you. All right, 43. Here we go. A coin is tossed 22 times. It lands on head 16. What's the theoretical be careful here. How does the experimental probability compare to the theoretical probability? The theoretical probability should be what? The theoretical probability should be what? Should be 1/2. Very good. The theoretical probability should be 1/2. However, the probability here is what? 16 out of 22, which reduces to 8 out of 11, which means you have a bad coin. Someone might be playing a game on you. Right?
Rigged.
It's rigged. That's what we call that. Someone's cheating you. Well, no, I just converted it to, if it doesn't say percentage, probability is usually a fraction. You with me on that? If you convert it to percent, it's not a big deal. All right, but tomorrow, no, leave it. If it doesn't say specifically percent, leave it as a fraction. All right, let's check out 45. Say that again. That's all right. Don't worry. All right, it says, suppose there are 200 students in the cafeteria during lunch. How many students would you expect to choose a hamburger? Well,
9 over 40.
how do you know that?
Because it was on the graph.
All right, so what he's saying right now is, listen to me. Hamburger. People would choose a hamburger 9 out of 40 times. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and then it then equals x over 200.
Exactly. 9 over 40 equals x over 200. So you would expect about what?
X, yeah, x equals 45.
So 45 people.
You just get 45 adding up all.
No, what we did was we cross multiplied and divided,
No,
or
he means like total for 40, like 9 over 40. Is that what he means?
Yeah.
you-
How do you get like the 40 just add it all?
oh no, yeah. But it said here in the directions, though. Thank you very much, Colin. It said right here in the directions 40. But guess what happens if you add those up? It's still going to be what? 40. So even if they don't tell you, the answer would have been 40. Very nice. You good on that? Will, I think you'll be ready for your test tomorrow, don't you? All right. It's not hard. All right. The first section was the hardest. All right. Let's check out 47. Okay. It says, according to the graph, out of 2,500 people, how many would you expect to check email daily? 76 out of how many, though? Whoa. Wait a minute. 76 out of how many?
100.
How did you get 100?
I added all of them up.
Yeah, you have to add 76, 23, and there's a sneaky little 1 down there. So if you add those up, those add up to, in fact, what? 100, right? So 100 would go down there. So it says, according to the graph, out of 2,500. So where would the 2,500 go?
On the bottom.
On the bottom, 2,500 here, and X here. So when you cross multiply and divide,
X equals 1900.
Anybody else get 1900?
No, I got 570.
Well, you better check your cross multiplying and dividing because Colin's got every single one right. And if he told me 1900, I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, B.
Do 76 times 2,500. Divide that by 100 and see what you get. Yeah, 1900.
Yep.
Everybody okay with that? 1900. All right, so let's check out now 49. It says use the table, which shows the results of rolling a number cube 25 times. Out of 125, how many outcomes would you expect to be a 4? So, if you rolled a 4, it occurred how many times? 7 out of how many? 7 out of 25. So if you throw the dice, how many times? That is it.
I think I may have messed up this problem.
Colin.
I accidentally put 250 instead of 125.
That's a big mistake then. First one, not too bad. So cross multiply and divide. Or you should be able to tell me it's just what?
45.
What?
35.
35. X equals 35. So again, I'm not sure how you got 45, but do 7 times 125 divided by 25. I think you're good. All right. Now, here's a little direction here, I think, for 50 and 51, so you got to be careful. All right, let's just do both of them because I think we have time. In baseball, this person had 4 hits in his last 12 at-bats. What's the probability he get a hit on the next? So it would just be what? 4 out of 12. Right, so 4 out of 12, which reduces to 1/3. Brilliant, which reduces to 1/3. Everybody happy with that?
Yes, sir.
Now it says, if he goes to bat 36 times, how many hits will he get? That should be easy. What?
12.
16.
How are you getting 16? How is that 16?
He gets 4 hits. I multiplied 4 times 4.
Thank
Yeah, I got
you.
36.
So there would be what?
Oh.
12 hits. 12 hits. Again, remember, you're just saying 1/3 is x to 36. You should be able to look at that and mentally do the math on that now. Come on, guys.
I have that.
All right, 52. It says, from 245 customers, predict how many prefer clean paper towels. So how many were clean? The brand. 24 out of, does it say how many? No. 24 out of how many? I don't see it in the directions.
So you have to add them up.
So you have to add them up, and someone added that up, and they told me it was. So 24 out of 100. Does everybody see that? And then how many should you select if there were 245 customers? Yes. Now please do the cross multiplying and dividing.
59.
Somebody said 59. Let's not go with him.
Oh, I got 59.
Oh, we definitely need to find somebody else.
58.8.
58.8. Thank you very much.
I rounded.
58.8.
Oh, substitute.
If we're talking about how many really are you going to have 0.8 of a paper towel? So the best idea would probably be to do what?
59.
To round it to 59. Listen, honestly, 59 is better when you're talking about an item. You're not going to pick a part of an item.
Yeah.
All right, but if you wrote 58.8, you're just not reading carefully. Does everybody hear me? All right. So let's look at 53. Predict how many would do power wash out of 195. Listen, I want everybody to set up the fraction real quick. Everybody set it up and then cross multiply and divide. and then Sebastian might have the answer, and I'm going to let Colin check him. Think you got the right answer here?
It's yeah, boy. So
All right.
12 over 100.
12 over 100.
And then it's x over 195. And then 12 times.
Just give me an answer. Come on now. X equals how many?
12 times 195. Oh, wow. Wait, sorry. 1 second.
Come on. Go ahead. Just tell me.
23.4.
23.4. So,
Yes.
20.
That's it.
Yes, I got that.
so we could just say because
23.
23 is good. And even if you wrote 24, I wouldn't really even care that much. All right? No, probably not. But you should know why it's 23 though, right? Do you agree with me? Sure? Yeah. All right, if you left it as 23.4, I'm not going to, All right, here we go. Let's take a look at 54, please. It says, a drawer contains 10 blue pens, 10 black pens. Mr. Rodriguez selects a pen at random. He returns the pen. If he performs 50 experiments and selects a blue pen 20 times, what's the experimental probability of getting a blue? 20 out of 50. And then you reduce that to 2 out of 5. What's the theoretical probability, though? 1/2. Thank you very much. It's really that easy because there's only 2 types, right? So the experimental probability is 2/5, and the theoretical probability is 1/2. What?
Oh, never mind. You just answered my
And the experimental probability is slightly less. Does everybody agree? Because 2/5 is less than 1/2. Hey, listen now. That was a good problem now. Is everybody okay with that being C? I want everybody to think about that now. Double check. Make sure you're seeing what I'm saying. 2/5 is 40%. 1/2 is 50%. So the experimental probability worked out to be less. All right, let's look at 55. All right. Now, let's talk about the mode. Is there a number that occurs the most?
No.
No. Is everybody listening to me now? Guys, look up. So there is no mode, would you agree? So that means I know the answer can't be B or D. Now, the median is already what? 26. Does you agree? Because that's the only option. So now the only thing I really have to do is to find the what? Find the mean. And how do I find the mean? Add them up. With your calculator, let's go. Chop, chop. Add those up and divide by how many numbers are there?
I got
12.
12. There are 12 numbers.
I'm smart.
And the answer was
A.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
Good job. A. Again. Any questions? Okay. So here we go. Let's talk about this. Now, yeah, this was our box and whiskers. I just want to review this right here. The number in the middle here is the what? That's the median. This is the median, and this is the median. So it looks like the medians are what? The same. Does everybody agree? This over here represents Q what? That represented Q1. And this over here was Q3. Q1 and Q3. Does everybody agree with that? And this was the max over here. And this was the what? Minimum. All right, does everybody agree with that? All right, let's see what it says. The data is symmetric. Symmetry means it's the same on one side as the other. Everybody see those aren't symmetric?
No.
Right? Thank you. The medians are about the same. Does that agree? The medians are about the same,
Yeah.
but the variability in the top plot is greater than the variable in the bottom. Do you agree with that? In other words, the range, correct? So that one looks true to me. But let's double check everything else. The range of data in the top is double that of the bottom. Definitely not. And then the third and first quartile on the top plot are less than. Are they less than? They are what? Greater than. All right, guys, that's a very good question. Make sure you're looking at that. All right, here we go with 57. A six-sided number cube whose sides are numbered 1 through 6. What's the probability of landing on an odd number? 1/2. Because it would be 3 out of 6, correct? Everybody good? All right, let's do 59. It says for the first 4 plays of a football game, the Eagles gained 4, 6, 2, and 4. What was the average?
4 yards.
Was it exactly 4? I think he's correct. Again, you added them up and divide by how many? 4. So believe it or not, he's correct. Now we know the average has to be somewhere between 4 and 6. Everybody paying attention? I mean between 2 and 6. All right. So the only possible answer was A. All right, let's look at 61. It says a police officer issued a speeding ticket. The speeds are 20, 22, 20, 25, 21, 27. What's the average speed? All right, average speed. Jesse, did you get this one?
I think so.
Well, tell me what you got.
Okay, so I got
For 61. And if you didn't get it, that's
I
a
got
22.5. Everybody happy with that explanation? Colin, let's just start with you. You good with that? Oh.
I actually got 21.
All right, well, let's add it up again because Colin's got most of them right, so we're going to go with that. Add them up again, Colin, real quick. Let's see if you're correct. 20 plus 22 plus 20 plus 25 plus 21 plus 27. Then hit enter. Now, how many numbers were there?
6.
Divide by 6.
Oh,
What'd you get?
22.5.
All right, 22.5. All right, guys in the back. Everything going good?
Yeah, not all of them. So easy.
Good. Good. Ladies up front?
I do 63.
No. Colin, you're good. Right. So listen, with my other class now, I'm going to go back and do everything that is not done. All right? Everything that is not done. Now, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I thought that was the end. So we still have 63 to do. Yeah, 63. Somebody tell me what the answer was for 63.
B.
Uh-oh, I got a B up here.
I got B.
Anybody else? Everybody got B? All right. So again, I totally feel good about this now. All right, now what I'm looking at here is for you to check your answers. Everybody with me? I want you quiet now. I'm going to close down, and you have the answers. I want you to look them over and make sure you're in good shape for that. Do everything. All right, you're studying now. That's your job. And like I said, I'm going to finish up the worksheet with my other class. So if you didn't get to something, you could hear it on the other one. Yep. Perfect.